Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you some Middle Eastern fragrances that I would consider to be more classy, elegant, sophisticated. So if you're wanting to smell really luxe and still very, very feminine, these fragrances will be for you. I kind of have something for everyone, but before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. So the first fragrance I want to talk about won't be for everybody. Lots of these are mass appealing, but this one you have to like yellow florals. That said, it's gorgeous, and it is Rare Tiffany by Afnan. Now this one is one that I have to be in the mood for because it's so yellow floral forward, but I really do enjoy it. So the top notes are ylang ylang, jasmine, and rose. So definitely more floral. The middle has musk, sandalwood, and vanilla, and the base has ginger, pink pepper, and caramel. So to me, where this fragrance gets exciting is in that dry down, when you get a little hit of that caramel smell with the florals. Now, although there's rose in here and jasmine, what I get more so is that yellow floral vibe. So it almost smells as if there would be frangipani in here as well. But I really enjoy this fragrance. The longevity on this is moderate, but the projection is pretty good. And I was talking to Nisha. She is the one, like Nisha and Veronica says, I believe both of them just absolutely adore this one. And Nisha has definitely talked about the fact that she always gets a compliment when she wears this fragrance. I'll leave their channels linked down below. I'm sure you guys know about them. Veronica says is so awesome. Nisha, she's such a sweetheart. Both excellent reviewers. So I will leave their channels linked down below. But yes, Rare Tiffany. It's just very, very floral, but like a hint of that caramel, and somehow very, very classy and sophisticated. Like I said, this will not be for everybody. It took me a while to warm up to it, and even now, it certainly isn't my favorite, but it was worth a mention because so many people have fallen in love with this. It's definitely polarizing though. Either you love it or you hate it. I don't hate it. I like it. This next fragrance is uber classy. I absolutely love it. To me, it smells very sophisticated, and that is Kismet for Women by Maison Alhambra. Now, first of all, the bottle on this one is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It's thick and heavy and absolutely stunning. So this one is supposed to be similar to something like Kilian's Good Girl Gone Bad. I haven't actually worn Good Girl Gone Bad, so I can't compare the two. But this is a beautiful kind of creamy white floral fragrance, again, with a little hint of peach in there. The top notes on this are apricot, rose, and jasmine. Middle notes are tuberose and narcissus, and the base is amber and cedar. Now, to be honest, I would say that this one is a little bit more, it's got a bit of a more mature vibe. So you have to like those white florals, but I love the peach with it. I think it's very sophisticated and elegant. It smells luxe, and you know how I feel about the bottle. This fragrance reminds me of a woman that's wearing kind of a white chiffon type dress, very demure, maybe buttoned all the way up with some pearls, a very beautiful clutch, a nude pump. And she's going to some sort of sophisticated event in the afternoon, some sort of garden party for dignitaries. Yeah, why can't I go to a garden party with dignitaries? I don't think I'm dignified enough for a garden party with dignitaries. I'm sure I can act normal, but yeah, it's iffy. But if I were to go, I would wear Kismet for her because it's absolutely gorgeous and definitely elegant, sophisticated.
You could go, but you're definitely not gonna go.
You want to be in my videos. Come on. So anyway, just a lovely kind of traditional smelling fragrance, very feminine, very luxurious and elegant smelling. Kismet for her. Another fragrance, I know you guys are sick of it, but I can't help myself, and that is Barakaat Gentle Gold. If you were going to get any Middle Eastern fragrance and you like gentle fluidity gold, that kind of vibe, you have to get this. It's so beautiful. I like this one way better than the Orientica version. So the Orientica version is nice and beautiful, but it's more money than this one. So this one is by Maison Fragrance World. You can get it on Fragbar. I am in love with this. It's kind of balsamic, kind of almost vanillic, kind of sweet. It's not floral, but it's so elegant and rich smelling. It's luxurious. It makes me smell, I just feel really loaded when I wear this. Not loaded drunk, but loaded rich. Like I smell like I should be driving a G-Wagon. I just learned what that was yesterday. I kept on hearing about G-Wagons. I'm like, what's a G-Wagon? So I asked my kid, because he knows everything about vehicles. He's like, Mom, it's a Mercedes. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So I saw a picture. To me, they'd be way too big to drive. Do any of you drive a G-Wagon? Like, do you love it? Anyway, this would be the fragrance. I see this guy on Instagram all the time, and he's got his little tiny mic, and he goes, do you mind if I ask you what you do? And he talks so fast, I can't even talk that fast. Do you mind if I ask you what you do for a living to be able to afford a G-Wagon? Like this, that holds the mic in front of the person's face. And, you know, they're like, I'm an entrepreneur. And then they go from there. And I'm like, I just watch those all the time. I love learning. You know, what's the best advice that you have for someone that's just starting off today? Like this. What would you say to your 20-year-old self? Like this. I don't know why, but I really love it. Anyway, they are always driving G-Wagons or some sort of cool vehicle like that. I'd like to get into one just to experience it. But anyway, if I were driving a G-Wagon and living in a manor somewhere in the English countryside, I'd be wearing this fragrance. But you can wear it. You can wear it too, because it's affordable. It's Middle Eastern affordable. So love this fragrance. It smells so good. Like seriously, dare I say this is my favorite fragrance right now. Favorite fragrance in my collection is this fragrance. I love it. Another fragrance that's very sophisticated, it's a little bit more fun, a little bit sweeter, is Ansaam Gold by Lattafa. Now, first of all, again, this bottle is just so beautiful. Like, I love the cap on it. I love the artwork on this bottle. I just think it's such a sophisticated looking bottle. And honestly, Middle Eastern really knocks it out of the park for their fragrance bottles. They're heavy, they're thick, they're substantial. The cap is substantial, gorgeous. Now this is a delicious kind of fluffy raspberry orange blossom fragrance. This has mandarin orange and pear in the opening. The heart is sweet notes, jasmine and rose, and the base is vanilla, musk and raspberry. It's compared to Oriana by Parfums de Marly. I think it's similar. I don't know how close it is just offhand. This fragrance is sweet. It's kind of marshmallowy, orange blossomy feel. Even though no orange blossom is listed, that's the vibe I get. So it's in the same family as Love Don't Be Shy, Oriana, that type of vibe. I don't really get a lot of raspberry in this. I do get some muskiness, and there's a slight metallic vibe to this. But I really enjoy wearing this. It's really fun, yet still classy. Now, talking about the orange blossom vibe, this one isn't Middle Eastern, but I just got it from my friend Lori, and I had to mention it. It's from Juliana's Perfumes. And now this is their old packaging. I know they've changed their format, and their packaging is now 40 mils or 10 mils, whereas this was 50 mils. Yeah, the bottles look different than this, but this is the best inspired version of Love Don't Be Shy I've smelt. This one is deep and delicious and sexy. It's definitely got that intoxicating feel. So where Ansaam Gold is a little bit more fluffy, a little bit more fluffy, a little bit sweeter, a little bit more almost daytime, so classy daytime. This one is still classy, but it's intoxicating enough with that delicious orange blossom. I just find this one literally intoxicating, addictive, uber sexy, yet still very sophisticated and elegant. So this has bergamot and pink pepper in the opening. In the heart, this has orange blossom, jasmine, geranium, rose, and honeysuckle. And the base is vanilla, sugar, caramel, amber, and musk. So honestly, you could wear Ansaam Gold for the daytime. This is definitely, to me, more daytime, whereas A Night to Remember, which is inspired by Love Don't Be Shy, this is a little bit more sexy, still very sophisticated. I just imagine a woman in the evening and she's got on some sort of like kind of a blush colored negligee and silk robe on, and she comes in, her hair's all like done up, kind of like mine. And she smells so sexy. There's candles burning. You get a little bit of musk. You get a little bit of woodiness in the background, but she just smells intoxicating and addictive. Like, this is a fragrance to me. When I smell this, I think of a guy devouring a girl because it smells so sexy. So love, love, love this fragrance. I know it's not Middle Eastern, but I had to share it because it fits in the category. I have 2 more Middle Eastern for you. The first is Niche Royal Vert by Maison Alhambra. Now, this is supposed to be similar to or inspired by Vert Malachite, but from the Armani Privé line. This again is a yellow floral. It's a lot more candy-like than something like Rare Tiffany. So Rare Tiffany smells a little bit more mature, whereas this has a bit of a bubblegummy vibe to it with this whisper of green. This is relaxed elegance. So there's the yellow floral in there, but there's something in here that's super addictive. It smells elegant and very composed, but there's also kind of an addictive, like insatiable quality to this that makes you want to sniff it not and stop. I think it's actually quite sexy, but it certainly is something that you could wear during the day. It's uber feminine to me and very luscious smelling, super luxe, amazing fragrance. And I think this one's $25.95 or something like that. So excellent price on this one. The last fragrance that I have, it actually took me a while to warm up to this. I don't like the opening at all, but it ends up being really sophisticated, and that is Leen by Lattafa. So the reason why I was not as keen on this one is, first of all, it's got mango. That's what it's known for. So I was wanting like kind of a celebratory mango fragrance, and this one is a very green mango. So at first I'm like, oh, it's not got enough mango, but it's so crazy. The more I smell it, the more I find it's quite mango-esque. I think in the heat, the mango would come out more. And I got this in the winter and I'm like, oh, I'm not thrilled with this. So I put it away, let it macerate. And when I pulled it out, tried it on my hand, I'm like, oh, still not crazy about it. But then I decided to give it a really good wear. And I love the way that this one develops. And to me, this is the class, like this is a classy version of mango. So is Ajaib Portrait. That's more classy smelling, but that one's really quite unisex. Whereas this one to me leans a lot more feminine. So the thing that I didn't like about this was the bergamot in the opening. This has bergamot, ginger, pink pepper, and turmeric in the opening. And I just found it a little bit too bright, a little bit too bergamot-y for my taste. But more and more I'm enjoying it, especially as it warms up. In the heart, it has black pepper, jasmine, mango, osmanthus, and tuberose. And the base has frankincense, musk, and sandalwood. Now, what I found about this fragrance is that when you smell it on the cap, everybody that smells it goes, no, because it smells like just kind of a light ginger pepper bergamot. So you really get the brightness in there, and it's not overly appealing. But what happens when you put this on the skin is you start to get a little bit more of a green mango feel. And then as it dries down, it's almost like there's this undercurrent of woodiness that's almost like, I'm like, am I smelling oud? Is there smokiness in this? And it's just a hint of it, just a whisper of it, but it kind of creates interest and depth to this. So I actually really enjoy this. I think it's very sophisticated. It's definitely nuanced and potentially challenging, but I found it to be very elegant and classy. So I'm like, oh, wow, like a classy smelling, elegant mango fragrance that's quite refreshing. So I'm really happy to have this one. I definitely prefer this one over Yara Tous. Yara Tous I think I'm going to get rid of because for a mango fragrance, it's mango, it's green, but it's kind of funky and synthetic. So I'm not a fan of that one near as much. This one again is not a safe blind buy. I thought I hated it. So it took me a long time to kind of get my nose around it, but more and more I'm finding it to be quite elegant. But as far as the fragrances are concerned, I think this is the most pricey. It's not a cheap one. The bottle is heavy enough that you could use it as protection if someone tried to break into your place. Like, it would definitely knock someone out. But the fragrance inside, it's very intriguing, quite elegant, and would be a sophisticated mango to add to your collection. A little bit more mature. You get the florals in there for sure. So it's not just a straight up kind of juvenile fun mango fragrance. It's got some depth, some intricacies to it. So yeah, definitely worth sniffing. And those are my elegant, sophisticated, classy fragrances for summer for Middle Eastern brands. What about you? What are your favorite kind of classy fragrances that are very feminine, very elegant from the Middle Eastern realm? Please leave it in the comments, because I definitely want to check more of the Middle Easterns out. There's so many to choose from, and it gets a little overwhelming. So if you have tried one that you're loving, please leave it in the comments. I know it's helpful for everybody in the community for you to leave your faves. So leave it in the comments. And as per usual, all the fragrances will be linked down below. And other than that, have an amazing week. We'll talk to you soon.